talking sports, man. We talking sports, and um, you know, we talking about sports, so that means I get to jump on whatever, whether it be football, tennis, golf, whatever, So I decided to talk about the NBA, and to be honest with you, man, I I haven't even had a chance to. No, that's not true. I haven't even really been watching the NBA season, man, and I would go as far as to say that competitively, man, the NBA is as good as it's been in a long time. There's so many different teams with so many different stories, and you hear a lot about the narrative and going into an NBA season or a football season for that matter. But I like all the stories that I'm hearing from a lot of these different teams, man. Particularly, I don't want to get into any specific team just right away, but I like what's going on with the Eastern Conference, man. There's a lot of teams that are just exciting to watch, and I go back and forth with my cousins, and I usually say that the West is always just there's just it. I've always felt like the Western Conference always had the better teams. Like overall, they've always had the better teams, and if I was just to really break my thought process down over the years about each conference, I always felt like the West had better teams and the East always had like the best individual players. And that's just always been my thought process about the NBA when it comes to those divisions. But man, the East is exciting, man. I didn't even know the Cavaliers were in fifth damn place. Like this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That's dope though. That is really dope. I had no idea the Hawks were at 9. I thought the Hawks would be higher. Um, I thought the Hawks would be a higher seed thus far. The Hawks, the Celtics. Um, so I guess I should say all the teams I'm kind of not. I don't want to say disappointed in because they're not my team, but just kind of like thrown off after a low seed like this, or not even in contention thus far. But the Knicks definitely like what's going on with the Knicks right there, man. What is going on with the Knicks? Um, teams that I just expect a lot from because they're just you look at the rosters of some of these teams. There's no reason they should be where they're at. Like I said, the Knicks they got a lot of people. Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, man. They got some heavy hitters, man. Um, Celtics. I don't know what's going on there. Jason Tatum and them boys over there. I don't know. Hopefully they'll figure it out. The Hawks. I've seen so much about the damn Hawks. You would think that as much as I've seen about them, I thought they would be higher than ninth place. The Hornets are fun, man. I'm glad the Hornets are really just fun to watch, and I'm glad that they're in contention as far as just for the playoffs, man. You know that's pretty cool. And the Wizards, man, like they've been bad for a long time, man. There's some teams that I'm just happy for that they're doing good. You know, um, 76ers, I don't care too much for them. Joel Embiid, he's kind of a that team's kind of like a rival of the Bucks in a way. So forget them. But yeah, man, Joel Embiid, man, Joel Embiid. I hope that I wish them the best and him all the health in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I feel like he's definitely the anchor of that team without a question. You know what I'm saying? Even when Ben Simmons was really in that rotation like that, I definitely felt like he was the leader for sure. They go as he goes. Cavaliers, I don't know who they got on their team, right? Because they sitting at fifth place. Um, the Heat, they got the usual suspects, man. They got some great, great players over there, man. Yeah, I'm just, I'm I'm looking at them, man. They definitely. If I had to say the teams that, as a Bucks fan, that I'm looking at is definitely the Heat, the Nets, because they're number one and we're number two. My Bucks, and so the Heat, the Bulls, and the Nets, and the Bulls, man, dude, there is like I am so happy for just everyone involved in that situation, man. Um, uh, DeMar DeRozan, you know, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Zach Levine, man, uh, yeah, they got some guys, man, that I really am excited that and a lot of those guys have been like moving around to a lot of teams. I mean, Zach Levine, you know, uh, Minnesota, and then the Bulls. I think that's exactly how his career has gone right now, as far as like from different teams. I think only been the Bulls and the Timberwolves, but I'm glad that he's finally found a team that he can really shine in, and he's gonna be an All Star. I think Zach Levine was an All Star last year. I'm not too sure on that, but I'm happy for him because he's definitely getting the spotlight that he deserves and all the work that he put in. Lonzo Ball, he was always, I mean, just even with his days with Lakers, man, you could see that he was a great defensive player, and I'm really glad he's been able to, showcase that type of skill with the workhorses that he has, man, because they got horses over there, man. They got, dude, like I said, man, Lonzo, DeRozan, Levine, I kind of felt like for a moment there, Lonzo got a bad rap, because you know LeBron was coming to the Lakers, and anytime LeBron moves, man, it's like the Manning effect. It's like the Peyton Manning effect. When he gets into town, you know, he wants the best pieces right then to win, and so Lonzo got caught up in that. I feel like, but now he's in a situation that really respects his talent, and that really wants his talent. And he said that one time recently in an interview. He was like, they call me because, I'm here because they wanted me for what I do, not what they believe I do. So I thought that was fantastic. That's always a good situation, whether basketball or you're at a job. When they want you because of who you are and what you do, perfect. DeRozan, man, dude, he stayed with the Raptors for so long, man, and I honestly thought, uh, you know, Kyle Lowry, seeing him win the championship, I figured I would have seen both of those two together hoisting up the trophy. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't happen. And now he's in Chicago, and he was with the Spurs for a bit, and didn't really hear. He was serviceable. He did his thing. You know what I mean? But didn't really check for him with the Spurs. But here, man, with the Chicago Bulls, man, uh, he's really able to showcase his skill, man. And then he said it himself that he hasn't played with so much talent. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that. I don't believe that was just hyperbole. I feel like DeRozan feels like he's with a team that can really, set off to the races and really contend. And I think so too. I wouldn't find them out of place being in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now obviously I would want my Bucks to meet them, but I mean it's up in the air, man. I got all the faith in my team, but there's some tough teams in the East, man. There's some really tough teams in the East, man, and I think it's great. I think it makes the game better. I think it makes it more competitive, to have balance like this, because I think the East has been this year, I feel like the East is more balanced than it's been in a long time. Like I don't even want to say, um, yeah. I mean, it's not even top heavy. I mean, usually when you look at the East, through the years, it's been very top heavy. You know what I'm saying? You got your Miami Heat's way back when, with the Dwayne Wade and LeBron and Chris Bosh, and Celtics, and you go back to the Cleveland days. I mean, just top heavy. See, even the Celtics. A lot of teams have just been top heavy in the East, and it's not like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that anymore. It's really balanced, and I think it's gonna make for an incredible playoffs for sure. I mean, the East. I feel like I feel like the East, man. I mean, I feel like the West. I should say the West. I feel like the West is going to be how it always is, just rock 'em, sock 'em. You know what I'm saying? These teams are going to beat each other to death today. I mean, reaching all the way to the Western Conference Finals and the Western. I mean, and the finals. I mean, you can say that about the East, but really, man, the West is just. It's just, you know, the West has always had the same mo. Just great teams, just solid great teams, and you got to have a really good record to make the West. It feels like you got to win at least. It's always felt like you got to win at least like 50 games to make it in the playoffs in the East. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you took one of those teams from the West and put them in the East, they would, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of good teams right now, man. A lot of good stories, and I want to see these teams do well, man. I want to see these teams do well, just not at the expense of my Bucks. You know what I'm saying?